welcome. My name is Karen McMullen, and I'm the president of the Loyal Train of Artillery chapter of the U.S. Field Artillery Association. Today we hope to present to you some working knowledge, something that you can take with you, something that will be of use to you in your reenacting career as an artilleryman. Safety is the #1 concern of all artillerymen, whether today's active duty or yesterday's reenactor. Safety is the thing we are concerned about most because it has so many ramifications. And as we go through today's lessons, you'll see just how important safety is. We hope that you enjoy this presentation. We hope it is of benefit to you, and we hope most of all that you share it, not just with other artillerymen, but with the cavalry and the infantry who really need to understand the importance of safety and the importance of being safe in the artillery environment. Thank you.
Each gun will be a little different. As you work on different guns, you'll notice different pops, and they feel different. I've worked on other 6-pounders like the one I have, and they're different from mine. I mean, everyone is different, even if it's the same. So anyway, this particular time when I sponged it, it popped, but it didn't sound right. Well, I had air seeping in the back and didn't realize it. It'll be okay. We throw a charge in. We get a charge, put it in the barrel. I go to seat the charge. It didn't feel like it seated right. When I seated that charge, I felt the charge break, and when it broke, I mean, the gun's already fired. It's over with, folks. It's gone. You can see what I got left on my hand. Now, I was doing some of the things right, otherwise I was being hurt far more severe than what I was. I was wearing my wool coat. Wearing my wool coat, I know, saved my butt. I have no burns, no scars anywhere on my body. There's never been an accident, to our knowledge, where it has ever been attributed to any gun going by 3 minutes. A lot of guys go, wow, that's awful slow and everything else. Well, like Skip was talking about with your command structure and your officers, if you have a good officer commanding a section of guns, a full section would have been 6 guns early war. If you got 6 guns going by 3 minutes, you've got a fire shot going off every 30 seconds. That's a nice rate of fire. Rounds at that time cost $11 a round. Well, that don't sound like much today. But break it down into the pay that the soldiers were being paid. A private in the Confederate Army was paid $11 a month. A private in the Federal Army was paid $13 a month. That's a month's wages, guys. You're talking about $2,500 on today's standards per shot. Does the U.S. Army go out and just totally waste ammunition today? Too expensive. Look how particular the U.S. Army was back during that time period. Custer, they sent out with not nearly enough ammunition because they didn't want to waste ammunition and waste bullets. This is to show something that's historically true for people, something people can come out and enjoy and see, and to have an accident in front of a bunch of people, all that's going to do is help to shut the hobby down. As everybody knows here, there's groups out there right now that wants to see this hobby end. We have applications here for the Field Artillery Association. I encourage people to join the Field Artillery Association.
And stand your ground. If you're on a gun and he wants you to ram and jam that gun, just walk off of it. I'm not going to do it. It ain't worth it. Believe me. Arthur tell you, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. It definitely ain't worth it. And I was the last person, it won't happen to me. It's always the other guy. Guys, we are all the other guy. Skip can tell you about that. He tore his hand up on an air conditioning duct, and that's the last thing he expected to do.
I mean, it just happened that quick.
It ain't no fun. And trying to learn to do everything one-handed, that ain't no fun. And there's still stuff today that I can't do. And if I could go back and redo any of what I did, believe me, I would. We weren't going by 3 minutes on the artillery accident I had. We weren't ramming and jamming. We were getting around off about every minute and a half. But there was still a hot ember at the back of that tube. And when I reseated that charge and that powder back broke, I mean, it was over.
All right, I'm going to get Jay to tell y'all a little bit about a morning report. We need to pass out these morning reports. They need to be filled out. Every reenactment you go to, whoever the line commander is for the artillery, he needs these morning reports turned into him as early as possible. So what he knows what guns and what people he is working with that day in that reenactment. Good morning.
Good morning.
Me and y'all ought to be ready to go. Good morning. Ha! Howdy. Sergeant, my name is Sergeant Davis, and I'm going to show you the morning report and how it should be filled out. I'm going to try and make my way back and forth. Morning report will look like this. If any of you has ever done it at a reenactment, you're at least a step ahead of everybody else. This should be filled out by either the first sergeant or your senior ranking NCO. If there's no senior ranking NCO, then your senior ranking private can do it. High private, exactly. High private can do it. And you fill one of these out, and you take it to you give it to your captain. He presents it to the commander of the artillery, either Union or Confederate, and nobody else is giving him one. You know what that's going to do in his eyes? It's going to make you shine. When we go to the training part on the guns, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a morning report to fill out. That way we know that you can fill it out and that you have enough people on the gun to man a gun, and you have your captain, so on and so forth, for that part of the detail. Is there any other type of questions?
This is what the ordnance report looks like. It's just a simple little form. It needs to be filled out every morning, usually by the ordnance sergeant. And just, you date it, put your battery on there, how many men you had show up at your first formation, and then you go check your limber box and find out how much powder you've got. You may find you can't just simply subtract how, let's see, we started off with 20 and we shot 4 times yesterday, so we have 16 left. You may find out during the night that somebody on your crew gave away some of your powder to another gun that didn't have any. So you have to check it every day. After the ordnance sergeant takes this, he usually gives it to the first sergeant, who passes it on up to the ordnance officer. So they've got to know what your gun is capable of doing before they get you out on the field. Okay? Any questions about that?
You are the safety officer. Everybody sitting under this pavilion on this property in this camp today is the safety officer. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your sex is. You are a safety officer. Your first thing is your overall impression when you walk up and look at the gun. If you walk up and wheels look shaky and it's kind of sitting off to one side and doesn't look like it's had a coat of paint since 1862, this is not going to be good. The tube, you want to look down the tube, look at, you need a flashlight or something usually on these. Clean and free of rust and corrosion, no external sign of damage or strain. And if it's well taken care of and it's nicely painted and what have you, you're going to have to look at it closely too to see if there are no bulges, no cracks, any of that. You want to be able to be sure when that friction primer goes in that it seats well, is going to stay where it's supposed to stay and do what it's supposed to do. No sign of cracks or bending at the trunnions. If you've got a problem with your trunnions, you're going to have a problem with that carriage. The carriage, wheels are tight and free of rot and insect infestation. Carriage body is free of rot and insect infestation. Every once in a while, gentlemen, depending upon how much you use the gun, where you store it, how you store it, you're going to have to check that carriage. I would suggest a minimum of once a year. A lot of times, if you don't take that carriage apart and look at it piece by piece, you'll miss things that are happening on the inside. You can't see through paint. So you gotta look at it real close once a year. No pieces or parts are broken, bent, cracked, or missing. The wheels move freely. The elevating mechanism works properly. Of course, we don't normally use that. when we're just firing with the blanks and what have you, but it needs to work.
Most of you all have seen the guys that, you know, the charge don't go off, so now they're going to have to worm the charge. So they worm the charge and get the charge out. What's the first thing some of them do? They walk over and go, well, why didn't this thing go off? And pick it up. You've all seen firecrackers. You've all played with firecrackers. Black powder is no more than glorified fireworks. Same ingredients in both of them, okay? Lots, most of the time, you know, you'll light your firecrackers and they'll sizzle and then they'll stop. And you sit there and go, it's not going to go off, and you go walk over to pick it up, boom. That's why you wait the 3 minutes on the gun. That's why you don't want to walk over and pick one of these up.
There it is. And again, maybe it will.
I mean, how many of you would like to have had that in your hand when it did that?
How much powder is that?
Not everybody raised their hand at the same time now.
How much powder is that?
That's about a half a pound of powder. So most of these charges, that's what you're looking at. Any questions? The proper way, once you get it round out and it's laying on the ground, you want to take that worm, which will keep you at a safe distance. You can hook it with that worm, you can pick it up, get it in that water bucket, break it open, get it good and wet. Take it back away from the limber boxes, way back of the guns. Break that charge up. What we're going to do is they're going to load the gun over here. We're going to have a dummy standing where number one would be if he was loading the gun.
That's not going to be skipped.
We're going to have a stake and a glove over this vent. The stake represents your hand. The glove represents the skin. We're going to fire the gun, and we're going to show you the kind of power and velocity that these guns have.
Is that any far enough? I'm going to get the barrel. Right here, right? There you go.
Man.
What we were placed in front of your gun. Also, if the number 3 man had his hand over the vent. What this is fajita meat. Grizzly, worst thing you get is
Hot gas is going up. Can't sit in daytime. It's tight.
4 or 5 different types of material. This could be stuff your shirt's made out of. This could be stuff your coat's made out of. The first one down here, the light colored one, is silk. The second one is a combination blend cotton. The third one there is wool. The tan one is canvas. The plaid looking colored one is cotton. The purplish one is a polyester blend. You're really going to like what happens to that. And the last one down at the end is leather. This will show you the reason why it's a good idea to wear a wool coat on the front of the cannon.
Your cotton's still burning.
Canvas is still burning.
Canvas.
Here's your wool.
There's your wool. Which would you guys like to be wearing?
Where's the polyester?
Polyester has
There ain't no
completely
polyester.
polyester has completely melted to your skin and welded itself there. When you get to the emergency room, they will cut your skin off.
Okay, everybody that has got a unit for their piece.
The polyester is totally gone.
So, your best bet, make sure you have the wool because it will save you. There's your polyester.
Number one man. The number one man's job is to cool the cannon barrel and to seat the charge into the gun. Number two. Number two man is to pull out any debris left from the last firing of the gun and also to introduce the new charge into the barrel when it is advanced. Number three. Number three man's job is to break the charge open with a pick, also to insert the primer and the thumb stall the vent. Number four. Number four man's job is to insert the primer, to check the field of fire, to make sure there's nobody in the way, before we relinquishing command to the gunner. Gunner. Gunner's command. The gunner's job is to command the gun and to make sure that everything is in a safe manner for firing of the piece. Powder monkey. Powder monkey's job is to advance the charges to the gunner before it is advanced to the front of the piece, number 2 man.
With one live round, load!
Number 3 comes in and
Clear.
tricks the piece. Puts his thumb over the vent hole and keeps any air from going in. Number 2 uses the worm to clear out any debris from the might have been in there from the last firing or the last servicing. Number 1 sponge it. Make sure that the tube is clean. Signals for the powder to come. The powder man brings the charge to number 2. He brings the charge up to the muzzle, sets the charge in. Number 1 ramp sets the charge. They nod each other off, go back to the wheel hub.
Ready!
All ready. Number 3, bring the charge. Number 4 sets the friction primer. Number 3 holds the rope for him so he's ready. It's knotted off. Number 4 scans the field and turns the gun over to the gunner.
Fire! First piece!
Number 3 will prick the piece
Clear.
again, make sure there's nothing left in the vent tube. Number 2 will worm, get the debris out. You can usually feel anything in there with the worm once you get used to it and hear it.
Clear!
Number 1 will sponge. Douse any embers in there.
That's how we got interested in reenacting. My wife
And as he pulls that sponge out,
studying
number 3
we just happened to move in.
got that thumb on there, right? No air will go back in that tube, create a partial vacuum in there. And some of that water will turn to steam and help douse any embers that are in there also.
Cannoneers, post! Take implements! With one practice round, load! Clear!
You're Steve's face. Now, do I need to say any more? He did get a hand down. He got a bacon full of water. Yeah, he gets a bacon. And look, he's minus a little bit more. Well, maybe if we pull the back of it real hard, it's just...
Ready!
I ain't going there.
He ain't gonna tell. And I know he ain't. I ain't
Fire! Service the piece. Clear.
Clear.
Secure your implements. Fall in on the limber.
Clear.
Takes a lot. It's a long time. You gotta do your time, you know. But you're in the Army.
Ready! Fire! Primer is failed. Do not advance.
On a failed primer, gun is failed to fire. The number 1 man puts the rammer up on the hub. Number 2 man backs off 10 full paces with the worm held, as you see it, puts the worm down and waits. We will wait 3 minutes before anything else happens. In case there's some burning embers in there. The rammer on the hub lets everybody know that the gun tube is hot. You can see it from 360 degrees, and it'll stay there until we get the gun clear.
3 minutes have elapsed. Strike the primer.
You always want to see what the gun is going to do. And he'll walk around the wheel one of the few times you ever get in front of that wheel with a hot tube. Put his back to the barrel. And the powder man will bring him a tool to get the failed primer out of the vent. Take it out of the vent, throw it over the wheel. Give the tool back to the powder man. Powder man will retire back to the limber.
Reprick.
Number 2 will call for prick so we can re-prick the charge in case it didn't have a clear hole the first time. Prick it. When he's happy, he'll give that back.
Reprime.
And he calls for reprime. New primer is handed to him, and this is rather awkward for him. You have to do everything left-handed and backward. Put the new primer in. He'll go back around that wheel with his belt buckle to it, and back to the center of the hub, back the 10 paces to his implement. Pick the implement up, return to the gun.
Is yours more as he is? Who was the general that's
Ready!
Commander ready, everybody goes back to the ready. Number 4 scans the field, turns it over to the gunner.
Fire!
Hopefully the piece fires that
It
time.
was 30 or 40 days.
If it does not, the drill is repeated.
Okay,
clear.
Piece is fired. Go back and service it again. Piece is always serviced before the first firing and
Clear.
after each and every firing, whether practice or live.
This is right here. You're standing on the ground right here where the last paper was signed at the Southwood Bank Memorial.
Secure implements.
Remember that?
I think you will.
All right. You're standing on the same ground. I don't know just where he was when he signed the paper.
Fall back in on the lumber.
They first, but there's plenty of each day. That's the one was over there, no one was over there.
Hot tube, strike the primer.
The powder monkey advances the flyers. The primer is extracted.
Load the vent.
They are going to flood the vent with water before pulling the charge out. This is recommended after you have tried 3 times to fire the piece. If by the 3rd firing the gun does not go off, you have to pull.
Get the water.
valve out. The foreman carefully goes in and retrieves the water bucket. There are several different methods of using water to inject it into the barrel. This method is a copper pipe with a water syringe attached to it to where they can put the water directly into the powder charge, making the powder wet. After plenty of water has been inserted into the vent,
Load the tube.
they will flood the barrel. Carefully trying to stay away from the front of the muzzle as much as possible.
Up in trail.
Next, they will lift the trail, shake the gun, try and get the round to roll out. If the round falls out at this time, number 2 man goes in and he will retrieve the round using the worm as not to pick it up with his hand. He will insert it into the water bucket, wet the charge thoroughly. After that, he will take the charge behind the gun line, away from the ammunition boxes, and break the round open to dispose of it. When he returns to the piece, they will automatically service the piece and prepare to start over again.
Been clear?
If the round did not come out from shaking of the trail, it's number 2 man's job to go in and pull the round with the wormer.
For 2 men, go in and retrieve the round from inside the tube.
Another safe way of dispersing of a charge that is left in the barrel that needs to be pulled is using a CO2 fire extinguisher. You take your fire extinguisher over, insert it into the barrel. It freezes the charge and blows it clear of the vent.
Ready.
One in.
Twist so you can see the barrel. Twist so you can see the barrel.
Knot him off. Well, not yet. All right, one out.
One out.
Now knot him off. Satisfied with the slide. Nobody? Hand up.
You just told me the field is clear, okay? Okay, when I raise my hand, yours goes down.
He has to control the gun.
Okay.
You have to keep watching.
Okay,
Yeah.
now on. Oh, never mind. Okay, fire!
Y'all got the grill line here about Post. Post. Face. Face out. There you go. One practice round. Load. There you go. Hold. The other way with the sponge. Julius, sponge. Cause you, when he says clear, Sam, you go down the tube and you go in the bucket.
Fire! Cannoneers, post! Real good, real good. Now look up twice.
Go down in there. And then you'll come out and we'll make sure you got your
Take implement.
wet inside. When you get right here, pull.
3 minute time limit has it left.
Grab your implement.
Strike the primer.
One thing you need to get used to, and I've seen this happen. If
You're
you
happy
pull
with
that
it?
too tight, too fast,
Okay.
Okay.
Nod
Where's
him
your hand
off.
at?
You got to kind of
what's
watch
going to
it.
happen
That's
to your
good.
hand?
You step back.
Always keep it here
You
at the
step
side.
in.
Okay.
We were doing
Primer
this,
cap on where you want
and
it.
because this gentleman
back
had
out.
his hand at the side like we talked,
Re-prick.
he pulled it quicker than he should have pulled it, and his hand was still there, but he wasn't hurt.
Fire.
And that's what's important, to have your hand at the side, because
As soon as it's
it's
fired,
away from this bench.
We're gonna have to change because you got this navel lock. Keep your pliers in that hand for a minute. Okay. What you're gonna have to do is call for the prick. All right. And then you put your hand out over this way and lean back a little bit. In the meantime, you are going to, like a surgeon, you are going to step in with your away from here, or better yet, you come to right here and then over the wheel and you slap that in his hand, Okay, so get back where I was. Okay, right there. Now put that in his hand so he has it. You don't want to drop it, okay? And stay right where you are. Now you're going to need to flick this up. And if you can get it with that, fine. If not, then you hand that back to him.
Clear.
Stay put for a minute. And then you could use your pliers. If it's a friction primer, you're going to use pliers. Okay. So put your pliers over here. Get it out, and when you when you get it out, flip it. Get it away from this gun. Okay. So you flip it. Now you have an option. Once this is out now. Now you have an option. You can call for reprick, which I have never in my life not called for reprick. Okay, there's no reason not to. Something's wrong here, and if it's just simply you ain't got a good enough hole, let's get a good enough hole. And there's two ways to do this, too.
Fire!
In some drills, you will go stand by him for the 3 minutes. And in some people, they like to stay there, and then you go through the 3-minute thing, and then send you over there.
No, you wait there for the man.
Right now, what I want you
You gotta wait
to
for
do,
the 3 minutes to elapse.
they're filming it. You
3
wait
minutes
right
have
here.
elapsed. So
Time has elapsed.
Now,
time has
okay.
elapsed. Strike primer.
Reprick.
Okay, now you hand him that again. Okay. Okay. Now you got to work this thing kind of backwards, so it gets a little awkward. Okay. The best thing to do again is get it in there.
You're testing me.
Now get it in there enough to where it's not gonna fall out. Drop it. All right. Now grab it.
Now everybody
Grab it here. Right. Don't put your finger through it. Just grab it there, up and down. Okay. When you're happy, pick it up. Give it back to him.
Ready.
Okay. Now you say reprime.
Reprime.
You give the primer cap to him. Okay. Now again, with your left hand, you're gonna have to put that primer in. Let's do that one more time. All right.
You're coming right behind you.
Kind of half a dozen
With
ones.
one practice
It's
round.
dangerous no matter what you're doing.
That's what you want to do because you're pulling straight down. And what you might want to do.
I see what you're saying.
That's right.
Now, you're happy everything is here, okay? Now, I forgot one thing. We've now pricked it, okay? So we're kind of done with you. When you hand that prick back to him, you nod him off, okay? Don't lean on the wheel. Never lean on the wheel. All right. Take that.
The 12-pound big gun has got the like part of a millimeter off of this. Now we got air being stuck through there. Okay? We don't want that. You have to seal
Mike, you
it.
should be turning around the other way.
And it's
Don't
got to
push your body back the other way. No, it's
percentage
okay.
of 100% towards going everywhere, but I imagine that's the
Okay, Mac.
So you really have to kind of get in the habit of
fire.
keeping your
Secure the beak.
You better off the prick.
Cannoneers! Post!
You know, Mick, you're making better prick than you.
I hate this.
No, not yet, not yet. Take! On take, front 1 and 2, turn and face the gun.
With this one, you know, I don't like
Implement!
number 2 standing here when you're setting the charge.
Yeah, there you go.
He's supposed to be. That's part of this drill. Is he's supposed to stand here? I don't think.
There you go.
Number 2 needs to be
Now,
here.
you two guys, there's 1,000 different ways to do this, but the way we're going to show you is straight up and down.
When you're 1 and 2 are standing beside
Some
the gun,
people
really,
like to do this.
the
Some
action
like
should
to
line
do
up
that.
with your outside part
Straight
of
up
the
and
body.
down.
Big guns, you're centered.
You can stylize
This
it.
one, that's what you're supposed to do.
All right.
I would be back just a little bit.
With one practice round, load!
Back just a little bit more, and see now you're away from that muzzle.
Okay, we're going to work over the wheels, so you come
Big
to
guns,
right
you got a
here.
lot bigger wheels.
Okay.
In the center.
That's
I mean,
it.
I got more
And
room
first thing you want to do
on my gun
under
with the guy standing in the center
is
than I
right
do
now,
right
right here.
This one.
Now he's going to he's gonna prick the vent, which he just did. And he's gonna put his thumb over that vent hole, and then he's gonna say, clear! Okay, on clear, that's right. You dip, you worm. Pop it down. Okay, if you can, you got a long arm. Okay.
Now normally the gunner will be standing here, but it doesn't hurt for the gunner
Now,
to be
start.
one step over. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, you're gonna have to play with this to get your arm movement
There's nothing
down
wrong with
where
that.
you're
When
happy.
the gunner goes beside the gun, okay, we haven't even gotten into that yet. When the gunner goes beside the gun would come up
That's
here.
good enough. Now spin it.
Bend it. Just put your thumb
spin
over.
her around. You want to end up with.
The gunner will come over here. This man will fall back here.
Okay, now normally on a big gun it's under here, but
He
you
would
can
come
do
up,
this.
put the side
45-degree angle.
That's the side, and he would tap.
Okay, this is where you get to show off again after you get that movement and stuff down.
And then when he was done, he goes through all that.
Good. Now just flourish it. This is your.
The gunner comes
You're
back,
being.
go
You
back
two
to
guys are the ones that are going to die from the sharpshooters all the time. Style, flourish a little bit while you're alive. You probably ain't going to live 3 weeks. Okay? Yeah. Why don't we do that? You prick. You come in here. You prick. Okay? He's put the primer on there, and you hold that right there. Good man. Or better yet, right here. Right. Better yet, throw your fingers up. There you go. Okay, then he's going to nod you off. And you go to the ready. Well, right before you're ready. You nod him off, get him there, and then you survey. Because right when you nod him off, it's your gun. Everything. Okay. Do the survey. I know we got the cameraman's not there. All right. Now, you normally you'll be looking at me over your other shoulder. That's it. Okay, I got it. Fire! I should have said ready, I'm sorry. My fault. Fire! Fire! Center gun! Center gun. Fire! Fire! Right gun! Fire! And bell primer, do not advance. This move. Okay. Fire by the piece from the right. Number 1, fire! 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 Number 3, fire! Fire! Number 4, fire! Fire! Bell primer, do not advance! No, back up. Service the piece!
Hold it. There you go. Back on up. Back on up. When it all comes down to the very end of it, if there's an accident on the gun line, it's going to be the battery commanders. I mean, that's where the buck is going to stop, right there. It's not going to go any further or any deeper.
Right, because your experienced guys like your gunners and stuff should know better. Hopefully, since they've been to a couple of these schools, they should know better that, what's this fool talking about? Guys, shut it down.
Ready!
Ready! Left section ready. Left section ready. Right piece, go ahead and prick your charge. Left section ready, sir. Left section ready.
Right section ready, sir!
Section.
From the right!
From the right.
Right section!
Right section first. Coming down.
Fire!
Good job, fellas. Good job. That's how it works.
6 ounces, Rudy.
Good job, Rudy. That's good.
No flour. That way you don't have to worry about it.
Love this month.
Just live.
Section!
Load! 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 By peace!
By the peace!
Off the muzzle flag!
Off the muzzle flag!
Fire!
Good job, left section. Good job.
My section!
By section!
From the right!
From the right!
Right section! Right section! Fire! Fire! Left section! Fire! Fire! Left section! Fire! Fire!
You think the gunners are sounding an awful lot better?
No. Well, they're better, but I need to hear the section chiefs louder, much louder, and I need to hear the gunners are actually louder than the section chiefs. I'm getting my feedback more from the gunners.
Well, the gunners, you got more of them.
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean I can
And
hear.
they louder mouth.
Well, yeah.
Are you hearing JR?
Well, yeah, I'm hearing him.
Okay. So I'll talk to Lee and I'll talk to Nye.
Yeah, I need
But
to
what do
hear.
you think about the gunners? Are they,
Yeah, that's better.
The
doing much
gunners
better.
are much better.
Left feet!
Fire! Right feet! Fire!
Left feet! Fire!
Right feet! Fire!
Good job, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. There's a card.
All kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. O.L. Burdine. Good job, sir. Good place. Mitchell Copper. Good job, soldier. Appreciate it. Good job, sir. Appreciate it. Good job, soldier. Mike Smith. Appreciate it so very much.
Freeze it. Order. About. Hey. Forward. March.
We thank you for coming. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to honor a few people. We're going to present an award, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But first, we like to do one thing to kind of show recognition for people who've done hard work and have benefited all of us. And to do that, we present a coin, an artillery coin with St. Barbara. And to do that right now, Ms. Von Roeder. Cap, would you step forward and do the presentation?
First of all the holders of the St. Barbara coin, please stand forward and be recognized. We're going to add to this distinguished group this evening with a presentation of 4. When you go to a reenactment or a gathering of artillerymen, if you're the one that didn't bring your coin, you're buying a round. So
the challenge is, if an artilleryman comes up to you and he shows his coin and you have yours, he buys. If he doesn't, he buys. So this is a safe way to do it, guys.
yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Following 4 gentlemen, please come forward. Louis Mastroni. First Sergeant. Honor, sir. Congratulations. Thank you. Yes, sir. Dr. Randall Lord. Congratulations, sir. Told you you did a good job. Charlie Nettles.
Barefoot private.
Barefoot. Congratulations, sir. Good job. Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job.
And Bill Henry, please come forward. Appreciate the work you do, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Thank you, Captain.
My compliments.
And we're going to honor one of our own this evening who's done something that we think is extraordinary in keeping alive the traditions and the heritage of the field artillery. So at this time, I'd like all of you to come to attention to orders. To all field artillerymen, wherever ye may be, greetings. Know ye that there appeared before a most arduous and selective committee composed of highly esteemed and proven field artillerymen, that Terry E. Mitchell, having been tried and found worthy to be numbered as one of our trusty members, has been gathered to our fold and duly initiated into the solemn mysteries of this traditional brotherhood. Be it further understood that we hereby confer upon this individual the shield of St. Barbara emblazoned above, and enjoin all field artillerymen henceforth to show due honor and respect whenever this individual may enter their midst. Given under our hand this 11th day of September, 1999, signed Tony Strickland, Major General, United States Army, Field Artillery, Commander. Mr. Mitchell.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you more than deserved.
Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 cheers for the newest member of the Honorable Order of St. Barbara. Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray! Speech! Hooray! All right. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations, staying out of my space.
Thank you.
Get that
Congratulations.
beer.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They will drink your head.
Thank you. Hey, you're a little first in being Crip.
That's right, buddy.
All right.
I love it when he's on.
Oh, I want a copy of that film with your face on it.
Accident involving a Civil War era cannon. The victim relives that day with Real TV. Here's our John Johnston.
No, we're not looking at Robert E. Lee's home movies of the Civil War. Instead, this is a modern-day reenactment of the legendary battle that pit the North against the South in Mortal Kombat. But on a morning filled with mock skirmishes, a cloud of real-life danger hangs over a seemingly harmless recreation of America's bloodiest war. Unlike the tragedies that took place in the days of the Civil War, this horrible moment is captured on videotape.
I faintly remember ramming the cannon, and then I remember saying white, and then I woke up on the ground.
14-year-old Brett Vicrilli's life was changed in an instant by a white-hot flash of gunpowder that blasted him 18 feet.
I remember thinking that, you know, it finally happened to me. I never thought that something like that would happen. I knew what I was doing. You just drill a lot, and you gotta know how to do everything so it's safe. I was the ramming man, and it's a ram, and on one end there's a sponge to put out the embers. I packed the round into the back of the cannon, and I sponged it, and then the round was put in, and then I rammed it and fired prematurely. And then I woke up on the ground, and there was people around me and trying to tell me what was going on and it was going to be okay. I've been told that I was saying, "Oh, my arm," and I can't see.
Brett suffered severe injuries to his right arm and hand and lost sight in his right eye. He lost partial sight in his left eye, too.
The only explanation I can give for the cannon firing prematurely is that there was a hot ember in the barrel that didn't get put out, and while I was ramming it, it sparked and went off. For people that want to work with the cannon, there's a lot of things that you have to think about. Accidents do happen, and there's a lot of risk involved.
Brett's a fighter, though. He's undergone intense therapy to regain as much movement as he can with his right hand. Meanwhile, he's learned to write quite well with his left hand.